Okay, that's a lot of talking, a lot of information, and that's all I have for you. I'll just mention again, you can go to unf.edu/affordability. Here's the website. If you go there, and you can see there's a number of initiatives that are laid out here. So if OER, the Follett Access Initiative, and et cetera. So with that, I can. Any questions from our folks here? From CERT? Yeah.
Hi, Kevin. I actually have a question.
Okay.
Can you kind of place the put into context the information you shared today within context of the Open Educational Resources Initiative, like what faculty could do for affordability counts, how that might tie into the OER initiative or not, or if it doesn't?
Well, it does. I think certainly the tie-in is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but any of the courses that complete the OER initiative that go through that are eligible for affordability counts. Because if I understand it correctly, the amount of money that you can still charge students for an OER course, is that $20 per course or something like that? That's
25.
kind of 25. So whereas the affordability counts is looking at $20 per credit hour. So that would be for a 3-credit course, that would be $60. So every course that completes an OER initiative program should be able to directly go and submit that course for the affordability counts medallion at the same time. And is there an OER medallion that you put in your course when you complete? Okay, so then you go to your affordability counts website and submit your course, and then you can get that medallion to put in your course, which I think makes your class stand out a bit. Yep. I don't. There's not a lot of research work being done in these particular initiatives. It's really just kind of showcasing what faculty have already done. And so in that way, maybe it doesn't tie in quite as much in terms of, a productivity initiative as so much as, hey, you've already done the work, let's just get some additional recognition. And if you're interested in posting your information to the website. And actually, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, if we got a second, let's just go and take a look at the Affordability Counts website. And I'll just mention a couple things over here. Originally, the idea was that every institution in the state of Florida was going to get involved, and that didn't really quite pan out as much. But you can do a search over here for, I guess you could do a course title. And let me just see if I type in biology, for example. And that brings up a number of courses. We've got one from UNF, a bunch from UCF. And the idea is that you can expand and view what kinds of resources that's my course. I didn't even notice that. But you can expand and view what type of resource was considered no cost. Or low cost, we should say, for that particular course. So it's really more of a resource about that type of thing. People are interested to know, how are you teaching that class for no cost? If I apparently understand that I need to use a $200 textbook. Yeah, and then there's other information in here that talks about, there's other resources in here, such as open educational resources and a number of other things that are pretty neat that somebody, might be able to take a look at. So I think that's the tie-in, is it's kind of after maybe you've done some OER work and you can come and submit it, or before you get started, you might come here and start looking up courses that are similar to yours, and then taking some of this information maybe back to the OER librarian or the instructional designer that you're working with and say, hey, I noticed that these courses are doing that. Can we look into it and find out, what it costs and how they did that? So I think there's some value there.
Kevin, I have a question. I feel like I'm more familiar with things on the faculty side of this, but like on the student side, like for students to know before they enroll in a course, like let's say they know it's on my radar to take intro to psychology this semester, to be able to know what are the costs associated with the tech. I imagine that would be a factor for students to think, if I have these, if it's a course that there's multiple units of it, multiple instructors that are teaching it, like where do students find that information? Is it just when they go in enrollment? Does it link to the bookstore to be able to see, oh, this course has this book for no cost versus this course that has it for $100 or $150? Like, what is it? What does it look like on the student side? And is there a way to sort of harness this as a marketing tool for students signing up for my course, right? If I'm an instructor, just sort of thinking about this from the student side of things.
Yeah. One of the things I would mention, okay, so there's a project currently underway at UNF where we are working to put indicators directly into the course schedule itself. And that project started last year. And I believe there's, things are still moving forward. The idea is that a student will be able to go in, look at the course schedule, and then be able to compare course sections right in front of them. So if I sign up for the one that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, well, apparently that one has some cost. If I sign up for the one that's on Tuesday, Thursday, for example, there's an indicator and it says, oh, that one is low cost or no cost, or maybe even OER. I think that's something we're looking at later, because as I said before, the OER is kind of a tricky category because it's not always no cost. And even if the content itself is essentially free, they may still be required to log into some other platform in order to access that free content. So the other point that I'll make, that for those of you who may not be familiar, so I'm going to go back here. So if you go to the UNF Affordability Counts page, you click on textbook adoptions. This is the main view for students and for the public and so forth. There is a big, huge graphic here that links to the textbook transparency dashboard. So this was based on a state bill that required all institutions to be transparent about what the cost is. So this is available to students and anybody, as you can go in and do a search on any particular term, summer, and then, you can look at different, courses, and then you can tell over here whether there's a required ebook and the cost. So this is a very nice, clean visual way for you to compare courses as well before you even get to the schedule itself. And there's a lot of other fields that you can use to edit and query and filter down to look at what you want. So this is a great step in that direction, because it used to be really a lot of that information was hidden from students. And once they took in the course, they actually got into the course, that was the first time they realized they had to pay hundreds of dollars for a book. And so we're working on the back end in a lot of different ways. In addition to these initiatives where we're collecting data and reporting it to the state, we're also building these transparency dashboards and adding the indicators directly into the course schedule for students. So those are some other ways that, we're helping out. Any other thoughts? I think that's it. Just about out of time here. Yep. Just a little tag in. We are looking to, this is something that had started in 2019. And of course, then we hit the pandemic and things kind of slowed down. But I think there's a renewed interest here to kind of come back to not just OER, but just affordability in general. And so I think that there's going to be a greater push after the spring to try to go back out and capture a lot of these, recognized faculty who are saving students money, because that's really what the Affordability Counts initiative is. One of the primary focus points for that is just to recognize faculty who have done that. And actually that was something, let me just take up one more minute of your time here, because I didn't think about that earlier, but I wanted to present and show you. So on the Affordability Counts page, you can click on the faculty, and there's little cards here that kind of show each faculty who has submitted courses. And in some cases, some faculty have submitted multiple courses for Affordability Counts. And so it'll show next to the course, it'll have the number of credits and the total cost. And so you can get an idea of who's been participating in that. So it's really about recognition. And at some point, I think we're going to try to automate this whole process a little bit more and be able to take all of the data directly from the bookstore and put it right into affordability counts so that everybody is recognized who's currently involved. Yeah. All right. How's everybody doing today and this week? Doing well?
Been a good week.
Been a good week? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you are our final. This is the final session in the OE week string of events. So thank you for closing us out here.
Right on. Should have brought
Yeah,
some
we figured
digital-
tomorrow with it being right before.